Last time on Square Roots, we wash up with the Little Prince, experiment with teleportation, and get in good with some guilds. Later, Yuri goes to jail, Rita and Estelle get closer, and Carol reads the writing on the wall. If you can't beat 'em and you can't join 'em, become an independent contractor. Now our adventures are a tax write-off. Hooray!
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
What's up, Jim Banks?
What's up, bud? Also joined by Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
John is absent this week. We
The
miss
rare
him, but
Johnny-less episode.
the rare Johnny absence.
I wanted to get brave with this one. I recommended streaming this thing live and taking listener comments as we do the podcast.
Is this the first Johnny-free episode?
Maybe like the second or third. It's
maybe.
less. It's less than 5, but more than 1.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's dedication.
Yeah, it really is. John is also, I think, the only host that's finished every single one of the games that we played. So kudos to John.
Well, John has canonically never finished Final Fantasy VI.
That's true.
I don't think he's ever even played it.
No.
No,
Yeah, it's weird.
he refused to.
He
He was
is.
on the episodes because he, watched
Is
a Let's
contractually
Play or
obligated.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, we would have taken him to court if he would have not come. So I guess I should explain. We're a podcast that plays and then discusses, talks about your favorite classic RPGs, one chunker at a time. One little bit, or a long bit, medium bit, one little bit at a time.
Long bit or medium bit.
Yeah,
we
and
have
we
them
are
all.
Lit
we
bit.
are knee deep in Tales of Vesperia right now.
We're so deep into Tales of Vesperia that, honestly, why did I choose this?
This is seemingly the game that never ends. I feel like I've been playing this game forever.
Yeah, I told you that back 3 weeks ago when I was at your home. That the game is way longer than you think it is.
It's so long. You think it's getting to a point where you're about to enter the third act, and it's like, oh no, there's still feels like I'm halfway done.
It throws a ghost ship in anytime you think you're close to your destination.
Well, before we get into the episode, you guys have any hot game news you want to talk about? Vanessa, any hot game news?
Yeah, I've been playing the Animal Crossing update and the DLC, and boy, is it hot. We're talking 9,000 new items, friends.
That's a lot of new items.
In addition, you can plant crops, you can cook recipes. I turned a large section of my island into the nightmare carnival of my dreams. And then I got myself a little job decorating vacation homes for other animals. Tonight, I worked on a house for someone who wanted it full of dolls, and I did make it as creepy as possible. By creepy, I mean pink.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, it's really revitalized the Animal Crossing community. A lot of people who had fallen off playing are back. I log on, I see, all of my friends. Makes me excited, makes me happy to be playing the game, especially moving into this winter season when we'll be spending some more time indoors. If you haven't picked up Animal Crossing, maybe now's the time to start. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Matt
sounds
is
fun.
your
That's a sweet
daughter
piece.
enjoying the Animal Crossing update.
She's been pretty grounded lately.
Oh. Well, once she learns to get her shit together, she'll enjoy the Animal Crossing update.
Kudos to Vanessa for that hot piece of HGN.
Did
I
anyone
have
watch
one.
Did anyone watch the Elden Ring footage?
I
What
did.
is
I watched
that?
the heck out of it.
Yeah, what's an Elden Ring?
Elden Ring is the upcoming game from Dark Souls and Bloodborne developer From Software. It is where, like, I think a lot of people had considered games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls to be like semi-open world, and that, like, you know, you could travel to different places on the map and there might have been a boss fight or something between different places. This one is billed as like truly kind of open world, and it definitely looks that way.
Kind of open world.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way from the footage. And take this comparison with a grain of salt, because I have never played Breath of the Wild, only heard you guys talk about it and watched a lot of gameplay videos, but it looks like kind of like a From Software Dark Souls Breath of the Wild.
Ooh.
The combat is definitely like From Software combat. But the monsters look really neat. There's a cool like horse donkey thing you can ride around, and there's combat that's specific to that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks actually really neat. The all the combat and the weapon abilities and stuff look really cool. There's a lot of different like customization options. It just looks really fun, and I read an article in the Washington Post about it today, and it just sounds very neat and gripping, and I can't wait to play it.
Nice.
Yeah, gotta wait all the way till February, though.
My hot gaming goss is that they dropped a hot new Mass Effect poster, and it has the Mass Effect ship on the ground at what looks like the bottom of a vagina. Giant rock vagina.
That's quite an interpretation.
Vulva.
It looks like
Should I say vulva?
It looks like a geth head.
Does
a
it?
geth head?
Yeah, it's the head of a geth. That's what it's supposed to be.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it now. So it's not like a vulva.
No, it's
That's
supposed
not
to
the
be a geth
hood,
head.
and that's the. Never mind.
It's supposed to look like a geth.
Wow, that means the Geth are back.
Yeah,
The
because they
Geth
were not in
the,
Andromeda, right?
The Geth were the bad guys that were just like robots that the main bad guys used, right?
They were like a big AI hive mind. Yeah, the first game they allied with the Reapers. In the second game, some of them did, but some of them didn't want to, and that was a big major choice in the second game. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, didn't we get one in our party? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you got Legion.
Legion, that's right. Maybe that's Legion.
Could be. Well, Legion had a red eye.
Mass Effect : Legion, and this time
That's
you
how
just
you
play.
knew Legion was his own thing, is because he had a red bulb.
He wasn't his own thing. He was famously one of many. Thus his name,
Oh,
Legion.
that's true. That's true. But he could operate like independently of the Geth hive mind, right?
So can I. Big deal. Am I to take this to mean that we will not see a continuation of the Andromeda story?
It doesn't seem that way. Like because there were no Geth in Andromeda. One of the figures there that's in the poster, if you really zoom in, looks very Krogan shaped, Krogan-esque. So which makes me think it's a little more Shepard, or, well, probably not Shepard, but a little more original trilogy oriented than Andromeda was.
So you think that's Shepard?
No,
And
I don't know.
Rex?
Couldn't be.
And Talia?
I mean, I guess it could be about the world after the relays were destroyed, but then are you just stuck on one planet?
No,
Or in one, like, system
you'll
or
all
whatever?
Get cloned. They'll do the clone thing again. It'll be everybody. It'll get cloned. It'll be like 10,000 years later. And they'll be like, oh, shit, all the fucking things are back, and oops, the bad guys are back, too, and you gotta save the day again.
Someone get
Yeah,
that Caden DNA off ice.
That is interesting. I wonder how they will tackle the zooming around the galaxy thing without the mass relays. Otherwise, you're stuck in one dumb system.
That's right. Just like we are in real life, and that's no fun.
We're stuck on one dumb planet.
This isn't why I play
Not
video
if you're
games.
Jeff Bezos.
That's slowly being suffocated. Is that all the hot gaming news that we have?
I mean,
Matt
is there more
must
that you want
have
to talk
some.
about? What are you talking about? That was 3 things. That's a lot.
I guess that's all I have.
Well, we should move on to our next great segment where each of us individually level up.
Hey, I'll go first. I read a book.
What?
I read a book, an entire book, a whole ass book
A whole-
called The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. It is a horror novel that takes place almost entirely in a cabin where a family, 2 fathers and their adopted daughter, are vacationing, and they're beset upon by 4 strangers who tell them that one of them has to be willingly sacrificed or the world will end. It's a very tense little horror novel. It's about 300 pages. It's a good read. You should check it out. Also, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but one of my favorite books that I discovered in the Kindle store was called The Fisherman, and it's a cool, kind of like Lovecraft-esque horror novel. I found a paperback copy when I was in Barnes & Noble over the weekend, and I was stoked. I snatched it up immediately. So it's pretty cool to find that. I also started playing Alan Wake's American Nightmare, because I saw it on Game Pass. And it's kind of like Alan Wake DLC a little bit. It's not really a full game, but it's pretty neat. It's got lots of cool weapons. You can shoot shadow monsters with like a nail gun and a machine gun. So that's fun. I also tried Scarlet Nexus, played a couple hours of that. That was pretty cool, also on Game Pass. And I was able to play some House of Ashes with my good friend Vanessa on Twitch.
Oh, yeah, that's how I leveled up. I played House of Ashes with Jim. We did not finish the game, so I do hope he will play again with me someday. Might come true, might not. We'll have to find out. Stay tuned.
I think we should. I'm excited to finish it as player 2 because I got to do a lot of stuff that I wasn't able to do in the first go-round. And I will say the game is a lot glitchier on 2-player.
It's very glitchy. We both got something stuck to our character models.
They do this weird kind of wiggle thing when you go to interact with something where the character can't quite get positioned, like stand on the right pixel, and they do this weird little shimmy. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it is fun to see you like shimmying around in the background when I'm in a cutscene talking to someone.
Yeah, like I can overhear Vanessa's conversations from my character's perspective. It's really funny. It's actually really neat how they're able to do that. Like you're both able to experience the game, and I can hear you interacting with other NPCs. It's pretty cool.
I will say that I've watched you play this game individually, and I know that it is not in your nature to be nice and kind, but you've been choosing all nice and kind dialogue when interacting with the characters I'm controlling, and I appreciate that. I know it's going against your instincts.
Yeah, we all know that Jim's a real hardened monster.
He is.
Well, in that game, that character is just bad. And so I leaned into his badness in my playthrough, but I'm trying a different route this time.
It's fun to experiment with different ways. I will say that Jim, when he really can't bring himself to be nice and kind, he does just remain silent, which I also appreciate.
Yeah. There was one exchange where I think Vanessa and I each had like 3 opportunities to say something to each other, and we both chose to be silent each time. So the camera just went back and forth between us not saying anything,
just staring
which was pretty great. Matt, how did you level up?
Oh, hey, do you remember last week when I started to level up?
Kind of.
Nope.
Well, last week I talked about a movie that I wanted to watch called The Spine of Night. And I did watch it.
I've never heard of that movie. I've heard of Spider Night.
Yeah, Spider Night.
Are you trying to say Spider
That's
Knight?
Spider Knight's a classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Spider Knight. The Spider
Knight is on everyone's lips.
I posted the trailer for it in the group after we recorded that night to remind myself to watch it, and it worked. And I rented it, and I should have just bought it for like $3 more because I want to watch it a million more times. I watched it twice. It was fantastic. It's this crazy animated movie with like old-fashioned looking rotoscoped animation, but like modernized, so it actually looks pretty good. And it was kind of almost like an anthology about this like world and this power that's like destroying it, but tied around like a couple of people, like a dark sorcerer and a witch. And it was amazing. It was fantastic. It was greatly animated. It had great animation, and each of the stories was great. And then it kind of ties itself off with like a great end that, you know, felt like a good end to the whole thing. And I loved it. I loved it so much I watched it again the next night.
Ooh.
Everybody should watch The Spine of Night. It's fantastic.
Spider Knight. Sequel to
Spiders
Arachnophobia.
Yeah. Are they pretty scary spiders?
Is Jeff Daniels in it?
I watched the series, the Brooklyn Nine-Nine season finale, series finale.
Is it the season finale or the series finale?
I watched
both.
the last season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it was good. It felt like there was a big break in between the last two seasons, and it felt like they decided that they were going to address a lot of the real world stuff that was going on, and they managed to pull it off, I think, and then they managed to do some fun stuff, and then they managed to have a nice, touching ending. So if you're a fan of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, watch that. I finished Only Murders in the Building. It was fantastic, and I loved it. Vanessa, did you finish it?
Yes, I did.
What did you
think? It was
think?
fantastic, and I loved it.
Yay! I'm not going to spoil it, but the last episode certainly keeps the door open for season 2, which it's already been picked up for. And I'm very excited for that. I thought that Steve Martin and Martin Short were delightful and amazing. That's not really shocking from them in a way, you know, because they're great.
I have this Martin Short creeps me out.
He
a lot of the
can be
times,
creepy.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of the way he plays his characters and stuff. But he plays this relatively straight as just a guy, you know.
Yeah, he's not creepy, I would say.
He's not like playing an 11-year-old boy.
No, this isn't like a sketch show where they're playing weird characters. You know, it's just them as actors, and they're both excellent. And then Selena Gomez kind of comes in and is the millennial in the room for these old boomers, and is really fun. I felt like she was my voice in the room because she was very sarcastic about everything. But it had a great story and a great mystery and a lot of twists and turns, and was delightful and exciting. Finally, I did watch the new Netflix series Arcane, League of Legends. What do y'all know about that?
Oh, I know a little bit. I know it exists. I know it about Lady.
I think like Punching Lady?
Yeah, Punching Lady. She's looking for her sister. She's animated.
There's like magic, science magic.
Science. League of Legends is video game that I did not play. That's why I know about it.
I don't know the first thing about League of Legends, which probably helped going into this, because I think if I'd known the characters, like recognized them as like, oh, that's this League of Legends character, I think it would have been terrible. But as like its own little weird kind of sci-fi fantasy setting fantasy story, I thought it was really great. It really managed to juggle a lot of characters and have good characters with good relationships and interesting growth and stakes and consequences. The animation's gorgeous. Absolutely. Just top tier, like that Netflix Mitchell's versus the Machines. Did anybody watch that?
No, but I know what you're talking about. The one thing that like I remember about the League of Legends trailer, which plays seemingly after everything you watch on Netflix, is it looks really great.
Yeah.
Like it just looks amazing.
Phenomenal. But I really liked it. It's only like maybe 5 or 6 episodes, so I tore through it very quickly. But it definitely kept me going. But like I said, like I didn't know who anybody was or anything. You don't have to, but I think that helped because I feel like if I'd known like, ooh, the pink-haired girl is Punching Girl, who's probably a big League of Legends hero, then I think I would hate it. You know what I mean? But going in knowing jack shit about it, it worked. I liked it.
Did it make you want to play League of Legends?
No.
League of Legends is a MOBA?
Yeah, it's a MOBA. I got no desire to get
What
into
does
any
that
of that.
mean?
So, it wasn't League... What's the other one? League of Legends, Dota. Dota was a Warcraft 3 mod where you played a certain way, and it was the original, like, tower defense, right? It's a Warcraft 3 tower defense mode called Defense of the Ancients. And then that got spun out into its own thing, and League of Legends got created around the same time. I don't know what came first. I don't care. But
Multiplayer online battle arena.
Yeah. So that's kind of like PUBG was a mod of Arma, I think.
Yeah, Arma 3?
Yeah, so this is was a Warcraft mod that got spun out into its own kind of game, and they're tower defense games. I've never found them interesting. So no, I don't want to play League of Legends, but I definitely will check out the second season. In fact, I was even to the point where I was like, ooh, maybe I'll look it up on Wikipedia, and then I stopped myself and I was like, ooh, Wikipedia is going to spoil the magic here and be like, oh yeah, these are the kids. Because, once you know who they are, you know that they'll last forever.
Well, this isn't like an adaptation of League of Legends, right? It's more of like in the League of Legends universe.
I don't know.
That's how I understand it.
Want to know. Anyway, that's it for me and my level up. Oh, wait, no, I did watch the first couple episodes of BBC's The Watch, the adaptation of the Terry Pratchett series, and it was awful. I thought
that's
like
what
maybe
I've heard.
I thought maybe I've heard it too, but I thought maybe I'll find something good in it. Like I know that people didn't like it, but I can roll with a bad adaptation. I mean, I like Batman versus Superman for some reason, like that terrible Justice League movie. But no, this was just. I didn't like the changes to the stories. I don't like the changes to the characters. I don't like the directing seems cut and hurried and bad. All of it seemed kind of like not cheap, but like hurried and like rushed in a way. It's just not good.
Sometimes
Anyway,
those BBC series are real hit or miss.
Yeah, they are. And Terry Pratchett has never adapted well. There's been several miniseries, and they're just never very good. The best Terry Pratchett adaptation is American Gods.
American Gods is Neil Gaiman.
American Gods was written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway,
I thought that was the other one that they wrote together.
Yeah, that's the one with the angel and devil, right?
Yeah.
American Gods is Neil Gaiman. I'm thinking of Good Omens is the
Good Omens.
Good Omens is
was
the
good.
only
Good Omens was good.
I think the only good Pratchett adaptation. Sorry, not American Gods. I watched very little of that. It didn't seem very good. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Vanessa, how did you level up?
I already said I played with Jim.
We played House of Ashes. We fought some vampires.
Vampire.
I wasn't scared. I was very brave.
You were very brave.
thank you.
let's explore Matthew's Wonderlog.
Yeah.
Matthew's Wonderlog.
There's a lot that happens in this chunker.
Yeah, this is a big old chunker, and it's like I got 3 pages of bullet points. There's some pictures in there, but there's a lot of bullet points. So we can kind of hurry through it, though, and we can even skip some. I don't care. We last left off with Yuri riding away with the Dragon Rider, and we get a big old cutscene here of the dragon flying to the top of Gasferost Tower.
When do they name this tower? Because when they're talking about it later, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about?
When you get off the dragon and it cuts back to control, it says Gasifrost, the Tower of Gears. Yep. So we get to the top of Gasifrost Tower as Yuri, and Yuri jumps off to confront Barbos, but the Dragon Rider gets knocked out of the sky by fireballs. And very quickly, Yuri gets disarmed. And
his arms come off?
Yep. His arms come off. He gets desorted by Barbos's amazing Blastia-powered chainsaw Mary Poppins device.
Cool guy sword.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that thing is. He blows Yuri's sword out of his hand, and the Dragon Rider has been shot down and is all beat up, and so we get arrested. Bum, bum, bum!
Again, Yuri gets arrested. He's a menace.
It's a real recurring thing. Once we're in prison, the Dragon Rider takes off her costume. That's right, her costume, because the Dragon Rider reveals herself to be Judith, a.k.a. Judy.
What?
She's purple-haired elf girl. I don't remember what they're called, but they got big, pointy elf ears.
What are these things called?
They do have a name.
Yeah. It is
Guado.
It's not a Guado. She is a Critia. Critia. Member of the Critia tribe.
Yeah, there's not a lot explained about that. But she does wear very little clothes, and the best, I guess, thing that they do with it is that in her little cutscene, she's always bending over and trying to make people look at her cleavage. It's great.
Her enormous jugs.
Yep.
Did it work?
Mm-hmm.
The game, the game loves to comment about her Critian boobs
they just
as well.
won't calm down about it.
I know. Well, so now she's in our party now. She's a spear lady. She's got a cool spear.
Well, she doesn't have a spear yet because we're imprisoned. Mm-hmm. But Yuri and Judith pick a fight to attract the guards, and they do whomp the shit out of each other, which is pretty great, and punch each other in the face. And then the guard comes in, and they knock the guard out and prison break. And very quickly, Yuri finds his weapons, but not Judith. She finds a spear, but not her spear. Her spear is gone.
Her very special spear.
I guess her spear was special. I don't really know. I mean, yes, obviously, they mention it here, but, was the spear magic too? I don't know.
It's special to her.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a big side quest about it, but I don't feel like fucking with any of that, if I'm being honest with everybody. You know?
Are you being honest with everybody?
Probably not. So, Yuri finds his weapons, but Judith's spear is gone, and then we head out of the tower, and as soon as we do, we run into the rest of the team fighting their way to us to save us. How sweet. And since we've all reunited, even Raven's there, we climb up the tower, and this whole thing's kind of a puzzle with, a lamp that you have to light.
A lot of extending walkways, and then you have to, turn on certain gears to... unlock other walkways to progress up the tower.
It's kind of tricksy.
It's a little tricksy. A lot of backtracking.
I missed a gear or two.
Oh, you did?
I had to go back and look around for them. It just wasn't readily apparent to me.
Well, I guess old Gasparos got the best of you.
Yeah.
So... I liked this dungeon, actually. I like how the game makes it worth your while to, find out how to get to the treasure chests. Even though there's some, even in dungeons now, that I can't get to, maybe the game eventually will show me how to clear obstacles in my way. In some dungeons, there's, rocks or grass or something between you and a treasure chest.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the game will tell me later how to get beyond those.
Yeah, you get new skills or abilities, perhaps.
Perhaps. So we get to, the top of this tower, and Barbos is there.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt has in his notes that Duke shows up and defuses his sword. I don't remember who Duke is.
Duke's the white-haired
Duke is
guy.
Sephiroth.
Yeah. Oh, Duke... Wait. Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
The guy who cleared the air in the jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Sephiroth!
This game's got a lot of characters.
Yeah.
It does.
Many.
This dude, his sword is like a chainsaw. kind of sword, almost, right?
Yeah.
And it runs on air. It's like a Blastia is in it or something like that.
Well, we don't think we know any of that. We know something about... The only thing we know about it is that when he cleared the air in the jungle, Rita mentioned something about some equation.
I don't mean Duke's sword. I mean the other guy's sword.
Oh,
Bad guy.
Barbos' sword. Yeah,
Barbos.
it runs on the
Barbos.
Blastia that was stolen from the lower quarter at the beginning of the game.
Oh, the one we've been looking for all along.
Mm-hmm.
I totally remembered that and had not forgotten our primary mission.
So we fight Barbos. His sword gets blown up. He pulls out a big, chonky metal sword, and we kick his butt. And then, instead of taking it like a man, he commits suicide and throws himself off the tower.
Before that, he has a long speech about how he's going to see Yuri in hell, and men like them only go to one place, and he'll be waiting there to fight him again.
Hopefully that happens. I would love to see the third act of this game take place in hell.
Yuri goes to hell.
One of the Tales games I played I think we did fail mid-game in a kind of Final Fantasy VI-esque kind of twist. So maybe that'll happen here too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we collect the Aqua Blastia that was stolen from the town.
This is what, like 12 hours into the game, and we've got that first thing that we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And Judith, as we leave the tower, Judith does leave the party to go join her friend, she says.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And she does specifically say, we'll be operating independently from here on out.
Yeah. Yuri is keeping Judith's identity secret because Rita hates the Dragon Rider more than anything.
Yeah, she wants to beat that Dragon Rider to death.
Rita has been treating the Blastia like they're living things the whole game, but she's never explained why. So at this point, I'm assuming that it's not because they are living things. Because I think by now she would have been like, hey, Blastia are living things. But instead, she just kind of treats them like they're precious. I think she's mad because
she's like, I want to figure these things out, like, because they keep coming upon kind of unique ones, and she's like, oh, I want to figure this thing out. It's scientifically important, and then they just get blasted by this Dragon Rider.
She's just a huge Blastia nerd.
Yeah, what a dork.
All right,
she's like, oh my god, you broke Blastia issue 34, rare collector edition.
I was trying to study this Blastia.
I want to study the Blastia.
She gets so mad about Blastia. It's unhealthy, I think. I think she's got an attachment to him that we probably should explore. And I bet we will. So we return to Dongrest, and Rago, Chef Boyardee, has been arrested. And, Flynn shows up and says that Yoder is working out a peace treaty with Don Whitehorse. And Rago curses us,
I'll get you kids.
Yeah, Estelle decides that she's going to leave again and go back to the capital. And so we stay at the inn, and that night, Yuri can't sleep, and he's wandering the town, and he overhears that Rago has already been sentenced, and he lost just a few ranks of his, lordship in in the council, whatever. And other than that, he will be receiving no punishment.
Rago's a member of the elite, and there's nothing you can do to stop them.
Mm-hmm. It's two sets of laws. And he does run into Flynn, who is wearing a captain's uniform, and they talk about the Flynn Brigade and how great that is and how Flynn's going to change things from the inside. And Yuri's like, I have to do things my own way. Smash cut! We see Rago walking across a bridge in town at night, only one man guarding him. Yuri, like a flash, knocks out or maybe kills the guard, leaving just him, Rago, and the night air. No witnesses.
And Rago's like, you won't kill me, Batman. Your code won't allow it.
Mm-hmm. But Yuri breaks his code. He pulls a, dead Deadpool? Is he Deadpool now?
He's
the
like
Punisher?
the Punisher. Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
guess
what
more
said.
like
Turns out that this
Punisher.
isn't a Batman story, Rigo. This is a Punisher story.
And then he blasts him with a shotgun
Yeah,
right in his head.
Yuri
Yeah,
stabs
he's
him
like,
in
in
the
the
back.
name of the moon, I will punish you.
And Rigo, as Rigo tumbles into the river, mentions something about Dane Nomos and how he almost had it. And then that's it. The next morning, Estelle...
Wait. Is this... How do you guys feel about this? It's a big
Oh, you're
character
right.
turn.
Well,
Big character
actually,
turn
there was
here.
one more thing, which is that when he returns to the inn, Yuri looks at Rapide, who's sitting outside and looking at him, and they like share a moment, and then Rapide gets the title like sinful assistant or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
sinful
that, yeah.
sidekick.
Yeah.
So
And I think Yuri gets
guess
a title of like vigilante.
Rapide is in on the murder.
I was very
That's
happy
great.
when I was playing this game earlier today. I must have done a really good combo because I got like advanced combo guy as a title or something like that. Advanced combo master. That was
Wow.
exciting. But
Go
anyways, how do
online
you?
and brag about that.
I know. How
Brag.
do you guys brag? How do you guys feel about Yuri's turn as a murderous vigilante?
I was surprised, certainly, but you do sort of run into a thing playing these games where you're like, why don't they just kill the bad guy who they know is the bad guy, and you're gonna have to fight them eventually. So just like, just do it now. Why drag this
Yeah.
out for hours and hours? But then I saw it happen, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Yeah, me either. I have kind of mixed feelings about it. I think it's interesting, but I don't know if I morally agree with the decision, which I think makes it good writing.
Yeah. Matt?
Hang on.
He went from hero to anti-hero.
Did he?
I don't
guess
know.
maybe.
Well, I have a mouthful of chocolate. Wow. Put me over the bag of candy. How do I feel about it? It was nice hearing Jim's little bootlicker speech, but I think that obviously if the law...
I think turning up
If
my
the
nose
law
at
can't touch a
extrajudicial
murderer-
murder is not
If the law
bootlicking.
can't touch a murderer, then I don't see how society can last if people don't start taking the law into their own hands.
Well, who did
And
he
that's why I
murder,
was at the Capitol on
really?
January 6th. So, sorry. I had something else to say there, but I had so much chocolate in my mouth.
We don't know that he murdered anyone.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
He
Vanessa,
just-
hang on.
Yeah.
No body.
Yeah. No body, no murder.
No body, no murder. He's coming
That's
back.
what I'm saying. No, I'm saying he was innocent and Yuri shouldn't have killed him.
That's
Well,
what I was
they-
sitting there
they-
thinking of while I was munching on my M&Ms.
It's in this. They explain what happened to her in this chunker, right?
No body.
No, they explain.
They do
the
say
body.
he's dead.
They
we
say
see the body?
No, they tell you he washed up on the shore. He's dead.
Maybe they're just kidding. I mean, I didn't think it was like a huge deal. They kill people all the time. Like, we fight those random enemy mobs and we kill them, as far as I know.
Yeah.
I don't think this is like Skyrim where people just lie down and pretend to be dead.
Maybe he is faking it to
I
like
don't know.
frame Yuri.
That doesn't make any sense.
It
He's going to
doesn't.
come back as God at the end and we'll have to kill him. Oh my God. It's
I
so
would be
complicated.
very disappointed if this douchebag Rigo is the final villain.
I think Duke is the bad guy.
He
no,
has to
Duke's
be,
a
right?
good guy. Duke's
He's
got to be a good guy.
Sephiroth.
He's Sephiroth.
I don't know.
Got glowing red eyes.
Maybe. I'm on the fence.
The next morning, Estelle departs the company. She says her goodbyes to everybody, but Yuri stays in bed and refuses to talk to her. And as she's leaving, a monster attacks.
Oh, no.
Oh no! And at first, they think it's attacking the city, but then it very clearly comes directly after Estelle and speaks. It
What?
says, Vanessa, it's there. Read what's it say, Vanessa. What did the monster say?
It says, the insipid poison of this world must be purged.
And I took that personally.
Did you?
Well, no,
You
but
need
Estelle
to,
does.
you need to make a Michael Jordan meme
Yeah.
of Michael Jordan's face on Estelle's body.
Yeah. Estelle does, because she does refuse to let this go. But anyway, the monster does get shot by some cannons from the knights, and it flies away. And then Yuri arrives on the scene, and we get a great anime cutscene where Estelle and Yuri talk, and Estelle, I don't know, man. Somebody else recap it, because it's crap. I don't care.
Well, I mean, a lot of stuff happens. Like, Estelle, this is one of, like, I don't know, 30 times so far in this game where Estelle's like, I'm going to leave the group and go do my own thing. And then you get to the point where you're about to separate, and she's like, you know what? I'm going to stick around. And in the meantime, Carol is like, I'm going to start my own guild. And they call it something really stupid at first. I don't remember what
Hang
it
on,
is.
that's in the notes. Let's not jump ahead on all that stuff.
I know, that's what we're talking about, right?
No.
No,
That's not
we're
what
not
happens
even
in the
there
anime
yet.
cutscene. We get
Oh, I
an anime
don't remember that
cutscene where
cutscene.
Estelle and Yuri chit-chat, and basically Estelle resolves to keep traveling with the group. Like, it's all, what do you want to do? Follow your heart. Aye, kawaii. It's nonsense. But the monster does attack again, and, I don't know, blows up a bridge with us on the outside, and it's all kind of dumb. But we run across Judy. Estelle grabs her and is like, come with us to safety. And Judy's like, no, I got this. I'm fine. But Estelle is stubborn and drags her along anyway. And that is how Judy permanently joins the group. It's pretty silly.
Yeah, Judy's super good with the flow. She's just like, okay.
She really is. Estelle says goodbye to Flynn from across the broken bridge, and Yuri throws him the Aqua Blastia that kicked this whole thing off. And Yuri tells Flynn he's starting a guild with Carol. And Carol's like, Yuri!
You really gonna start a guild with me?
I got start a guild, Yuri!
Yeah, and Yuri's like, yeah, that's right, and you're in charge. And Carol's like,
Me?
Jim,
I'm boss.
Jim!
Carol is like a baby, though.
Jim!
Jim, we're in a guild. Guild.
Jim!
I don't want to join Brave Vesperia.
of us.
Jim, you're in a guild.
Jim!
Jim.
So, right after you turn around and take 2 steps away from the city, you are interrupted with yet another cutscene. And this time the gang stops for a rest because everybody's whining. And then they start talking about the guild, and they come up with a set of laws that are very Three Mouseketeers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like, what's good for the guild is good for the guild.
Goose good for the guilder is good for
Yeah.
the guildie.
We
What's good for
want
Goose?
and justice for all.
Mm-hmm. All for the guild and the guild for all. So Judith is so swept up in the moment that she agrees to abide by these laws as well. That's right. We don't even have a name. We've got a third member, Judith, who 2 days ago was flying around seemingly on a mission of her own, riding a dragon and destroying Blastia, has now decided to give up her entire life to be part of our guild.
Well, doesn't she explicitly say, like, I'm not technically, like, a guild person, but I'll agree to, like, abide by your rules?
No, she joins the guild.
Does she straight up join the guild?
Yeah, she joins the guild. I mean, she does. They do talk about it, and she says, I still have my own thing going on, but I won't break the laws of the guild. And so they spend the night there. Estelle almost joins the guild. Like, she starts to be like, and me, and Yuri interrupts her and is like, go to sleep, idiots. But in the morning, Carol is explaining to Estelle the names. Okay, no. Hang on. There we go. Judith, in the morning, Judith kind of randomly mentions that the name of the monster that attacked Estelle in Dangrest is or was Pharaoh. That's that bird monster. And she mentions that Pharaoh lives way to the south in a desert called Désir. And so the guild agrees, as their first job, they'll help Estelle get to Pharaoh's home in the desert of Désir.
Mm-hmm. And they're super stoked. They're like, we just made a guild and now we have a job already. It's amazing.
They agree to defer payment, which is nice. And Carol does say something along the lines of, this is a great job for our new guild, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Power Rangers, or something along those lines. And I was
like that.
Estelle
like Super
no,
Victory Brave Hero Club.
Yeah, and Estelle's like, no, thank you. How about you call yourself Brave Vesperia?
What does Vesperia mean in the context of this game again?
Estelle explains that Brave Vesperia is the brightest star in the sky.
Oh, right.
And there's a legend that there were 2 siblings, and they were super magical and cool, and one of them went up into the sky to become the brave Vesperia, and one of them remained on Earth as the child of the full moon.
That sounds like foreshadowing.
Maybe. Or maybe
like
it just is meaningless drivel that she got from some book.
Mm-hmm.
Some lame book.
Mm-hmm.
So they name the guild Brave Vesperia and head on to Heliord. Yay. And Heliord decides to have its own little fucking side mission.
Just a little one.
Oh, boy. So we head to Heliord, and the first thing we notice is that the town's kind of a ghost town. And asking around, people tell us that everybody's working nonstop to complete construction. They're being worked to death. In fact, a woman and her child asks us to find her husband, Teagle. Well, we saved them before. I don't really remember where. But he was taken to the work camps and has not been seen since. So we concoct a plan. We steal a uniform, a guard's uniform, a knight's uniform by dressing.
Yeah, you can choose the person to do this, right?
Yeah, you can choose Judy, Estelle, or Carol to dress up in sexy clothes to distract the guard. And in all instances, it ends with the guard trying to sleep with the person and getting knocked out and having their clothes taken.
Having it be Carol is actually bad. And
it's all bad.
It's not funny. It's worse than I don't know. Well, I don't know. They're both different flavors of really bad.
So did you have it be Carol? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, I did Estelle.
Oh, okay.
Judith, because she seems to be the only grown adult.
She's like 15 or something, right?
Judith?
Oh, Judith. Oh, no, Judith. I was thinking Rita.
Yeah, I did Judith
Rita's
as
not an option,
well.
yeah.
So what happens if you choose Carol?
I don't know.
The same thing. Like, he dresses up in a, towel, and
he's like, look at my little boy body.
Yeah, and the guard follows him. The guard follows him. There's pictures in this walkthrough that I've been using.
Oh.
That's okay.
No, you asked for it, so you're gonna get it.
So
Brave Vesperia.
I assumed that he would just refuse. But I also assumed that Johnny would be here and that he would have Carol try to seduce the guard.
I'm pretty sure John did that, or at least he remarked about it as he was playing.
Yeah, he said something about Carol seducing a guard.
I think he put in all caps in the group chat, Carol seduces guard.
Yeah.
That's all he said about it.
No further information available.
Yeah.
I bet it's on YouTube or something.
I'm sure. If you play the game and have Carol seduce the guard, you end up on a watch list, an FBI watch list. But John's
you do
Canadian.
that,
So.
and you have your character date Ken in Persona 3. Like there's a lot of traps to fall into in these games.
Yeah.
So Yuri dresses in the knight's clothes.
Oh no.
Yeesh.
That
I mean, at least he's not in a towel like you described.
I don't know if this is better.
I mean, at least he's got clothing on.
Yeah, but he's dressed like a little baby.
He's dressed as a baby. He's like wearing little bloomers and has a little dress on.
And a big bow on his head.
Yeah.
That's something that little baby Fresh Eyes would wear.
He looks really sad, too.
He does.
So as soon as Yuri gets the guard's clothes on, another guard shows up and summons Yuri to help with a situation. She's going mad. And you tag along, and it's Rita. She's been captured or something. I don't know. She's killing a lot of guards.
So what I did is when I got the guard uniform, I had Carol put it on. And he gets dragged away. And you just like see him go into this building and hear a bunch of clinking and clanking and clonking. And then you go in and Carol's like on the floor, passed out. And Rita has kicked his ass because she thought he was a guard.
We did it. We rescued Rita.
She didn't really need rescuing.
No, she didn't. But now she's back in the group for some reason. Why did they even have her split off? I don't know. But
they do
we
that
rescue
all
Rita.
the time in this game.
All of the time. Every time you get to a new city, they're like, what would happen if we actually weren't in the group anymore?
Well, I don't
and then you
mind
go
that,
to leave the
actually.
city. I do. It's just like, it's in the beginning, it was kind of novel because it's like, oh, what would happen if like this character did leave? It's pretty obvious now that no character's leaving.
Anyway, we rescue Rita, and then we decide to head down into the work camps. But as we're heading towards the entrance, we run into Q-More and a weapons dealer with a German accent named Jaeger. Like these? No, that was bad. John does.
I like your hee-haw thing you did at the end of that.
Like a German.
That's my German. Do you guys not like my German accent?
I liked it, but in a way where I'm not sure if it's going to get us canceled or not. I think you're still allowed to do German accents, sure.
Yeah, of course.
So we follow them down, and we immediately see them assault some workers. It's pretty great. And Yuri attacks Q-More, and then Jaeger and his men, which are the guys in red glasses from earlier in the game, attack us, and it's a fight. I don't know. Did anybody have a tough time with this? None of these fights are hard.
Yeah, pretty easy.
The Flynn Brigade shows up, and Jaeger calls on Gauche and Droit. And they throw some smoke bombs and flee.
Oh, are these the two girls who work for Jaeger? Yeah, they're like two school girls who, like, I guess, like, are Jaeger's assistants.
I'm just, like, I would be fine with this. I wish we could tone all of this down to not be about a whole fantasy world, and could every character not be a terrible, like, gross trope or cliche.
They want every woman in this game and the children to be sexy. The men, like, the men are sexy in a different way, but like they're trying to be sexy in a different way, but they want the like women and children to be like lusty.
The men in no way, shape, or form in this game
are
treated as sexy.
Kumar has a heart shape cut out of his thing. Like,
okay, but that's because they're gay coding him because he's a villain.
Yeah, that's true. But there's an uncomfortable level of sexuality leveled at the women and children in this game.
For sure. So,
thanks,
whatever.
Japan.
They flee, and we rescue that guy Teagle, and huzzah, we saved the day, and then Flynn shows up, and we're like, whoa, gotta go, and we run away. And leave Heliord, and along the way, Judith gets all sassy with Estelle. Whoa. Catfight, am I right?
That's what the game wants you to call it.
Judith does get all shitty with Estelle because Estelle keeps wanting to run off in different directions, and every time something happens, Estelle's like, we have to go do that. But Judith is very on point of, we're a guild and we have a job to do. She already is the most responsible member of the guild.
She's definitely the most like level-headed character, I guess.
So we head to Torm Harbor and spend the night. There's a whole lot of chit-chat here overnight, but the end result is that everybody comes along. Raven, Rita, the whole gang. And at the harbor, we run into Yoder again, who tells us that the Dane Nomos is an object needed for someone to ascend the throne and has been missing for 10 years, which gives some context to what
since the Great War, right?
Our murder victim said as he fell into the river. Nobody. So we head into the harbor, and as we get into it, a bunch of men are like running away from a ship, yelling about, no way, we won't do it, yada, yada. The guild talks it over and sees an opportunity, so they discuss with a lady named Kaufman. They meet with a lady named Kaufman, who is the president of one of the prominent guilds called Fortune's Market.
Yeah, all of the merchants are part of Fortune's Market.
She says she's going to blacklist the guild that ran, but she cuts a deal with us to protect the ship on her crossing to
Ethereum?
Nordopolica?
Nordopolica. She's going to Nordopolica. She says she needs like a guild to like escort her ship. She even is like, I'll make it worth your while, pay you a bunch. You'll also get like a lot of guild clout for doing a successful job for like one of the big 6 guilds. 6 guilds? One of the big 6?
5. And it's 4 because we killed the Blood Alliance.
We did kill the Blood Alliance.
Oh. So she's like, yeah, you'll get a lot of good clout. It'll raise your status. And then they're like, okay, yeah, we'll do it.
So we take the deal, and now we've got our own boat.
We have a boat
time. How do y'all feel about boats?
I like them. I often feel in JRPGs that they are mere predecessors to airships.
Mm-hmm.
Precursor? Would that be a better word in this case?
Yeah,
I think it would.
You're right, because that's exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, that was just the first part of like 4 in these notes, but that was the longest. So let's zip through Ethereum. As we are sailing, we get set upon by some mermen, and they're like sharks.
There's sharks with like swords.
Shark boys. I like them very much. It's a great design.
My favorite part here is when one of the sharks, you think you've defeated the sharks and you think they're dead, and you're like, oh no, this shark isn't dead. Turns out it is dead, and then Patty flies out of it. Great. I love how Patty just keeps popping up.
Yeah, she's fantastic. This is the most Vor we've had in this game thus far, and I think really warrants a slower retelling to get all the graphic detail. The shark initially speaks, or we think it speaks, when it comes aboard, and it's like, oh, I feel seasick. And you're like, that voice sounds familiar. And then after you defeat the shark, it is lying on the ground, and then it springs to life and retches is really the only way to put it.
Yeah.
Retches out Patty.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oi, that was some voyage. Me ship, you beat it up. And they're like, that's not your ship. You were in the stomach of a monster. And she's like, I was piloting it. I'm a pirate.
And then we're beset upon by, there's some fog, right?
There is. There's a, well, first, Patty agrees to become the pilot of our ship because the intended pilot is seasick? No, not seasick. He's shark sick. He gets beat up by a shark.
Oh, right, yeah. And Patty is like, I can pilot, or pilot, captain the ship.
Yeah.
She's a pirate, so she knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So once again, we start sailing, this time with Patty at the helm, and then some fog overtakes us, and dun dun dun, the boat runs into like a derelict ship. It's a ghost ship! You guys are cool with ghost ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love a ghost
Love
ship.
a ghost ship, yeah. This ghost ship, and I feel like this ghost ship and those like shark guy enemies ripped straight out of Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG also had the gang of shark men on the ghost ship.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I think every JRPG has a ghost ship.
I don't know. We played a bunch, and this is maybe like the second or third ghost ship.
You know what? We'll have the listeners double check
I guess Final
us.
Fantasy VII did kind of had a ghost ship with the sunken Gelnica.
Because I'm positive that there's been a ghost ship in every game. But we have run into this ghost ship, and the Blastia that runs our ship dies. So for some reason, we decide to split the party and wander around the boat. And then for some reason that I literally did not catch, so maybe somebody can fill me in, the second party decides to also wander around the boat and leave our charge behind, the ship. Stupid. But it all works out. We find the captain's bones, and we fight off a big black ghost skeleton-y monster. And Estelle agrees to deliver his last delivery, but then Rita's like, you can't take any more jobs, and says she'll do it, and it gets all stupid. But the curse lifts, and shit starts working again, so bingo bango, we get the fuck out of
Hey,
there.
let's talk about this box for just 2 hot seconds.
Sure.
It is an unopenable box that seems to be giving off some kind of magical power. And we find a note that's like, I must deliver this box to the town of something or other. And everyone's like, I've never heard of that town. So there's a little bit of mystery going on with it. That's all I had to say.
Yeah, it's going to come into play very quickly. We arrive in Nordopolica, the Colosseum City. Every JRPG has one of these as well.
I agree with that.
Raven has to deliver a letter to Lord Bellius, the head of the city, but he is denied entry and told that Lord Bellius only receives people on the night of the new moon, and it was just a full moon, so I guess
So
that's
it's away
ways
like a month.
Yeah. The next day we go back, and the Duke is there again, and he is also turned away, and that's kind of that. They just kind of like size each other up. He's the bad guy. In the town, we save a guy named Reggae. No reggae accents, please. Jim, Vanessa. Okay? We're not doing it.
That's what I thought you were doing earlier when you were talking like Jaeger.
A guy named Reggae of the Guild Ruins Gate. We met him on the boat, I think. He was a friend of Kaufman's, or an associate of Kaufman's. And we save him. He asks us to do him a favor. He says that the current champ of the arena is a bad guy, and please go defeat him. What did you two decide? Did you decide to fight in the tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I was itching to get in that tourney.
Haha, JK, you didn't have a choice. So we fight in the tournament.
I love this part when you get to the champion. Can we just say who the champion is?
Yes.
It's what's his name?
It's Flynn.
It's Flynn. And man, is this fight ever sexually charged?
It is.
These guys need to just kiss each other already.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's you. Well, we better put on a good show for these people. Oh, you don't have to hit me so hard.
Yeah, it is. They are flirting.
For sure.
Pretty hot.
Matt?
Does that make you horny, baby?
Great job. So yeah, they finish the tournament, and Yuri's like, I'm guessing you're not actually here to like take over this town and kill everyone.
Yeah.
And
But then
Flynn's no, I am not.
and then Zaggy shows his name's Zaggy?
Yes.
Zaggy the sex craze killer in the notes.
Yep.
But
And he's
he's like, Yuri, you're the only one to ever make me bleed my own blood. And then you have to fight him.
And
Oh,
so we
Zaggy
do.
does have a Blastia. What's the
Of
deal
course
with
he
his
does.
Blastia?
What's the deal with Zaggy's Blastia?
Oh, jeez. I don't remember the end of this. So, Reggae steals the box?
Yeah.
The box from the ghost ship?
Zagi shows up and interrupts the fight. We kill him, and then monsters attack, and Reggae steals the box from us, and we chase him out of the city and across the land to the Wasteland of Kados.
Which is like a cave? What is the Wasteland?
It's a cave.
It's a cave.
Yeah.
Is Wasteland a word?
I don't know.
Like a word in the dictionary?
I found that starfish thing, by the way. Where are the starfish? Give me the starfish.
The starfish are an enemy in the desert at night. But this says that according to this dictionary online, a wasteland is the membranous tube with cartilaginous rings that conveys inhaled air from the larynx to the esophagus.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like a throat. It's a throat.
I got
like
one of those.
Well, this is a cave, and it is a cave that leads through some mountains to the desert. So there's not a lot to say about it. It's a pretty quick desert. It's a pretty quick dungeon. It's just kind of a short linear cave. We catch up with Reggae, but then an air crane overflows, and that stops us from chasing him. But then another monster shows up and sucks up the excess air. This one is not Pharaoh. It's not, I don't know which monster this is.
It's another monster.
Someone
We're
else
going to find out more
entirely.
about these talking ass air drinking monsters, I'm sure.
Yeah, they have
But-
the coolest name of anything in the game, I think.
For now, it's a real Deus Ex monsterna. And we catch up with Reggae, and Reggae is like, "Oh, you've caught me." And what's that? That's right, he slipped into his German accent. Poof, he transforms. It's Jaeger.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of discussion of, so was Jaeger
little boy.
was Jaeger pretending to be this guy, or does this guy not actually exist and it's always been Jaeger? And if the guy does exist,
is Reggae Jaeger, is Jaeger spelled backwards?
Oh
What?
God, it is. It is.
It is.
whoa!
That really does answer that question, because they do
does.
ask like, what happened, but that must be proof, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's got to be.
Solid proof that
Solid proof.
And they're like, oh my god, the guild that does the archaeology that we thought was like the nicest, sweetest guild, it was Jaeger all along.
And they've
That
been
is
funneling
really funny.
Blastia out of the archaeological digs to be sold on the black market.
More like the blast market.
So we do get the box back. Rapide jumps at Jaeger, making him drop it, and then knocks it back towards us with his tail. But then this big monster that Carol has been fucking running his mouth about the whole time, Terrapus, shows up.
Carol has been. He's like, we gotta go to the cave. The Terrapus is in there.
Terrapus is a fog monster who turns into bats too, I think, or summons bats.
Like turns into bats, and
I
then
kind of liked it because when it was fog, it was, first of all, it was just like a black cloud shaped like a T, like a capital T, and it was just floating around, firebombing the ground, and I was like, this is pretty good. I like it.
it's an unusual sort of beast.
Anyway, we kill it, and then Jaeger's friends show up again, and he runs again, and then we walk out of the caves and into the desert. Where to next time, my friends?
Ooh, let's play to the arrival at Pharaoh's Crag.
Sure. Arrival at Pharaoh's Crag.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
It's time to pilot this thing towards its conclusion, my friend.
Sure. I mean, that's it for this episode. What are you guys squarely against? Vanessa, you go first.
I'm roundly for Patty Vor. I liked it when Patty popped out of that shark. It was surprising and delightful. And really had one of those classic RPG elements that we look for in a game here at Square Roots.
And this stuff was all inserted in afterwards. This is the PS3 exclusive stuff.
They probably heard our old episodes and they were like, hey, we know what the people want now. Let's give it to them.
Agree.
Our show was out when PS3 was released, surely.
No.
Jim, what are you squarely against?
I'm roundly for fighting the Gigantos. There's a Giganto in the Waysand.
Mm-hmm.
And I like fighting them. I think they have good music. I think it's cool to have just a big giant enemy on the map you can run into. It's fun.
It's fun. I like them too.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Matt?
I'll keep it going. I'm roundly for those merboys. They were like weresharks. I really dug the design. I thought they were cute and fun. I want to watch a whole show that's just about the shark men. I want to play a whole game about them.
We had an email, right?
We sure did.
Yeah.
I would like to read it to you.
I hope you do.
Do it.
This is an email from our friend Brian Davies. Hey y'all, loving the Tales of Vesperia series so far. With all the talk of guilds and guild laws in Vesperia, if the Square Roots hosts were to make a guild, what would the guild laws be? And what would the guild name if it wasn't just Square Roots? Love the podcast. From Brian.
I was not paying attention. What was the question?
If we had a guild, what would
That's
its
the name of
laws
my
be?
guild. No. That's the name of my guild.
I wasn't paying attention.
And what are its laws?
Don't pay attention and don't answer the question.
Cool. If I had a guild, it would just be my husband's, and its laws would be the rules that I have for my
Vanessa,
husband.
you can have your own guild. You don't have to just have your husband's guild.
No,
Wait,
I mean it would
You
be
can
a
have
guild.
Vanessa's guild.
It would
Not
be a guild
Mr. Vanessa's guild.
comprised of my husband's, plural.
Wow.
So, you know,
Vanessa's harem.
Vanessa's harem, and the rules would be don't bother Vanessa when she isn't interested in interacting with you. But when she is interested in interacting with you, you must be available, charming and handsome at all times.
Wow.
It's a lot of pressure to be in
That's
that
a
guild.
lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, but it's worth it.
They're professional actors. They know how to handle pressure.
Exactly.
Are they magicians at all, or?
No, they're not magicians. What are you talking about? You don't marry a magician.
Those are side pieces.
Those are side pieces.
Does Vanessa's harem include side pieces, or is it husbands only?
I would say it's more likely that we do jobs for side pieces. You know?
Yeah.
Gotta keep them happy.
Is this code for orgies?
What?
What?
Jim, what would your guild be called?
I think I would want to start a Scare Roots guild where we're all spooky people and we play spooky games, and I have a podcast where I just talk about spooky stuff.
Spookums. What are the rules of the spooky guild?
That you gotta consume spooky media when I say you do,
Wow.
and then talk about it.
Like
I was
pig?
kind of on
podcast.
board, but then, you know, the authoritarian turn really kind of gives me pause.
I mean, I'd give you advance notice.
He would make
Okay.
us watch Pig because I heard that Pig is just Halloween, but with
Pig is
Michael
not
Myers is a
spooky.
pig.
Wait, that's another guild law. It's spooky stuff and also pig.
I heard that Pig was about a guy who, like, kidnaps someone and puts him in his basement and turns him into a pig.
Oh, I know what you're referring to, and I've never seen that movie, and I refuse to ever watch it.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp. The
Yeah, it
movie
just
is
does not.
Pig.
Not pig.
I
You're
heard
talking
that Pig
about
was about
Tusk.
a pig that was from a dying planet and fired to Earth by his parents, where he was adopted by a kindly pig farm couple and grew up to be Super Pig, the world's greatest hero.
That's Pig of Steel.
Oh, Pig of Steel. Okay.
Yeah.
That's Pig 2, Pig of Steel, the sequel.
Yeah.
That we're all waiting for.
Yeah.
Okay, can we finish this show, please? We don't have a Patreon tonight, right?
We have a Patreon. We don't have any
Of course we
patrons
do.
in the thing, though. There are no.
Well, we're skipping it.
patrons.
It's already such a short show, Matt. We're barely scraping an hour.
Patreon is the thing that we do. We have 2 tiers to our Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/squarerootspodcast. The first tier, the $3 level, gets you access to our monthly bonus episodes, plus all of our past bonus content, of which there is an absolute fuckload. All sorts of great stuff, from goofy things where we talk about old television shows like Family Matters, to instant classics where we review modern games, to movie review stuff, to the occasional Vanessa quiz show, and more. We have a $5 level that allows you to vote in our upcoming Year of Votes and Stuff. Which I think is a thing. So
2022 is the year of only votes.
Oh, votes and stuff.
Votes and stuff.
Only votes and stuff.
2022,
So-
it's up to you. Only
It's up
votes
to
and stuff,
you.
except for BioWare.
2022, it's up to you to cha-cha-choo the games. So do join the Patreon at the $5 level if you want to participate in that. We're going to be voting on stuff all year long. It's going to be a bonanza, a befranza, a cananza. We're definitely going to squeeze in all of your top games that you've been asking for and everything that you've ever dreamed of, be it a new game, an old game, a non-RPG, a VR space sim where I have to be in a satellite to play it. Whatever your dreams are, donate to make them happen.
Pasted all of them. So another benefit of becoming a patron is each week we will read a selection of Patreon usernames on the show. I'll kick us off this week by thanking Kita Renee Prince Cifuentes wants to make the world smooth. Nathan Poirot, Vanessa's Gold Taco Bell PS5. Aaron Zelda 2 is underrated little. OMG, what is this game? Adam Zimmerman, Alex Dillard, Aiden Marriott, Wash in the Wind, Amanda Douglas, Angel, Butts on Parade, Anthony Cruz, Gronks, Husband, Murderizing Blasty at DLC. Hi, I'm Troy McClure, and you might remember me from such films as Giant Baby Flesh Eyes, Andy Best, Bree Girth, Mary Queen of Scoffs, and Grayson.
And I would like to thank Chris Ryan. Is a diva cup just a shot glass for vampires? Cerebus Minotaur, Cyril the Wolf, Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy is Christopher Thompson, Zachary Train, Chris Pena, Christian Go, Chad Wilson, DP 2099. Vanessa is a Bene Gesserit spy. That's not true. I don't know how to use the voice or whatever, and I can't I'm not here just to seduce dukes and bear them daughter. That's silly. Eric Poirot, Do Good Recklessly, No Pithy Profile name this week, I'm on break, and Dylan Rowe.
I would like to thank David Shook, Ethan G. Pearson, Friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole. Was that one? Friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole. Stop the Shock. See Twitter hashtag for more info. Dovahkiin's Discount Dragon Barn. Eric Pidkamy, Eric Garby. Prey was a terrible game. Wow. Andy Smith, Hexagon.
Take.
Florian Jonas Kramer, George Brady, Gage Lacharite. Go Cry Wolf, Randy, Knofford, Armin Hammer, and Hudson Roth.
All right, everyone, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, you can email us at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. We have a Facebook group. It is called the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or you can find us on Twitter. We are at Square Roots Pod. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links are in the show notes.
If you're listening on Spotify and you would like to hear our back catalog, not available on Spotify, please visit our RSS feed at squareroots.libsyn.com or other places.
All right, everyone, for Square Roots, I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm missing Johnny Brandon. Aw, he's all tuckered out. He's all asleep.
Sleepy guy.
Poor guy. And I'm also Vanessa.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.